Hello, hello, people. Welcome back to another episode of the ICU HBCU podcast. We have a great guest here today, but I'll let him introduce himself. Dr. Hodges, you have the floor.
It's you again, Mr. McMiller. To all those watching, my name is Dr. Jame'l Hodges. I proudly serve as the Vice President for Student Success and Engagement at Florida's first HBCU, Edward Waters University. I'm also a proud alum of Virginia State University.
Awesome, awesome. Right, I definitely want to get into where you are today, but I know you have your own unique HBCU experience. It started way before your current position. Can you talk to the people a little bit about where you attended, and what that process looked like for you?
Sure. So back in the 90s, during the Cosby Show, Living World era, I was a applicant to college. I was a first generation college student. I'm not really sure about my skill set in terms of academics, but I focused on sports in high school. So applying for school was a challenge for me. I didn't really have a lot of resources. I didn't know the process. And so I do have an aunt Edward who went to FAMU in the 80s, so she assisted me in some way. In some ways, she wanted me to apply to FAMU, but I was too far from New York. So
Yes.
a friend of mine met to Virginia State University for my high school graduating class. Two of them actually, Melinda Glass and Jason Ward. And so I thought they can go there, I can go there. So that fall semester, it was a homecoming and shadow day. That's what schools did back then. And so I went, took a Greyhound bus, 10 hours from New York to Virginia,
Wow.
and fell in love with the school. Applied and got in for the spring semester. So that's really how I got into the HBCU space.
Wow, wow. No, I love that. So you're from the north. Of course, we know that there are no HBCUs up there. They're mostly in the south, the southeastern region. So you essentially heard about HBCUs from a family member. You said your aunt Deborah, is that right?
I mean, I knew about HBCUs because I grew up in the era where in high school, A Different World and the Cosby Show
Okay,
was a hot show on TV, and so we
for
all know
sure,
about HBCUs then. So, but my aunt Deborah was the only person I knew who went to an HBCU.
for
So I
sure.
applied based on
Based on that. So, so right, getting to those first days, those first experiences on campus, you're new. It's a new climate. Tell the people what your first thoughts were. Was it like the TV shows that you grew up watching?
It definitely was. This is 30 years ago now, so my memory I can't remember everything.
For sure.
But I do remember it being vibrant, energetic. I remember feeling the HBCU sauce, like that unique feeling the smell of the campus, the fresh cut grass, the cotton candy, the dunk tanks, like the barbecue, the grill. Like, I remember that whole experience, the whole nostalgia of being on the campus for the first time. So yeah.
Yeah, you said HBCU sauce. Tell us about that. What's that?
I think HBCUs innately provide leadership, nurturing, support, and grit that other institutions try to emulate through resource centers, Black student unions, male empowerment, etc. And so HBCUs do it innately and naturally, which is why we have the results that we have in terms of terminal degree holders and
Yeah,
professional development that we have. So yeah,
yeah,
definitely that's, can't talk about the recipe. There's a secret. You know you have the sauce.
for sure. No, I really love that you said that, Dr. Hodges. I did another interview and I was telling them that I was reading a research article that was talking about historically Black colleges in terms of medical school success. And right, we know there are a couple of HBCUs. There's set to be a third HBCU, which is going to open up a medical school. But essentially, it was saying that there wasn't as, when it came to Black medical students and success at PWI based medical schools, it just couldn't compare to those who attended an HBCU medical school. And honestly, for some of the same reasons that you laid out. So when you think about just building this sense of belonging, right, in terms of the level of community that HBCUs have, what's something that kept you focused in that regard during your time as an HBCU student?
I think what takes focus was just the sense and the aura of Black excellence. Having upperclassmen who were carrying briefcases and book bags and actually with books in them that were studying in the library, seeing fraternity members and sorority members, student leaders at SGA, kings and queens walk around campus with that pride and that poise, that professionalism, but
Yeah.
also seeing party at night at the gym jams or hooping on the court or stepping on the guard. Just the diversity of leadership and visibility really what kept me, what retained me. I thought to myself, I could never be that. I could never be a fraternity. I could never be king. And before I knew it, I was doing both. So it just provides you with a sense of self-efficacy that is unmeasurable. Just a feeling of feeling feeling a part of the environment. My dissertation, although it's old now, talks about the impact that pre-college programs have on Black male success. And so having someone who looks like you, having a sense of a connection, a sense of a welcoming sense of connection on the
Yeah.
campus, family support, all those things to the retention of students. And so to have lived that, and then to see my research study kind of emulate that was really fascinating. I just think all of it is accumulating on me. Who goes for HBCUs and falling over? That's unheard of. And so I think having a space where see faculty, staff, students, and even alumni who look like you,
Yeah.
who push you outside your comfort zone, who actually care about you, the intimate class, the cultural tradition, the phenomena of the campus,
Yeah.
and those staple events, homecoming, move-in day, spring fling, the step show, the battle of the band. I mean, all those things are staple events that other schools just don't do and can't.
Yeah. Nah, there was ever a marketing ploy to just share the awesomeness of HBCUs, this is it. I love it. I love it, Dr. Hodges. I did not know about your dissertation topic. We're going to have to talk offline about that. I'm interested in reading that.
Sure.
So let's fast forward a little bit. You talked about, some of the successes that you've had in your HBCU experience. You talked about pledging. What did you pledge by the way?
I pledged Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Alpha Phi Alpha. What was your decision process in that particular fraternity?
I just really wanted to be a part of the best organization that best fit me.
Yeah.
And that stood out the most in terms of academics, involvement, being down to earth. Yeah. Also, have pushed me outside my comfort zone of having grades and baseball caps and Tim every day being from New York. And so those men really pushed me outside my comfort zone to be better than I could be academically,
Yeah.
and developmentally. And so that's what made me choose it. Yeah.
I love that. So when you think about, and I'm only asking this because my nephew recently crossed Alpha Phi Alpha, and he came from a different environment too. So I'm excited to see how he'll be forever transformed as he enters his now senior year. But for you, right, as you reached the end of your college days, at least as it relates to HBCU, what were some things that you were thinking about, right? How did you want to remain connected to this HBCU experience and lifestyle?
To be honest, when I was leaving my HBC, my goal was to find a whole program at one. You to hit that I was received from my school, but more important, I wanted to survive. And so I was thinking domino work. Everyone had their lives together. Somebody had their lives together. And for me, having been, campus king and being in the fraternity, being an athlete, I did everything right. But then toward the end, I was nervous about where am I going to work. So ironically, my first job was through my fraternity. I worked for the Org office, our fraternity headquarters in Baltimore. So that was a really enriching experience for me to kind of allow me to travel, meet other brothers, connect to education. I met a superintendent at the time who was an Alpha brother, and he told me, you should go to Rice. You should really think about being a teacher. And so after that, I worked in Baltimore school systems as a middle school language arts instructor. So I did that. I found another mentor, about another county, who told me about this strong program at Florida State University.
Okay.
Although not at HBCU, I knew that FSU was right next to FAMU. I
Right.
thought, wow, look at that coming in. I'm going to go to FAMU.
Oh,
Now I'm
shape.
going to apply to Florida State. I kind of see that culture. Applied and got in with no loans. I got in through a minority recruitment program called STAR at the time, back in 2000. And so I had an assistantship in graduate school. That allowed me to go for free and get paid. So I was able to go to FSU, but then have a part two HBCU experience right across the street from FAMU. So
Wow.
yes.
Yeah,
So
I
full
didn't,
circle.
for sure, full circle. I did not know that. As you know, I today graduated from Florida
I know.
University, and Yeah, just a really rich experience. So let's go into that a little bit. So although you weren't attending the school directly, you were, as we say in Tallahassee, across the tracks from
Yes.
Florida A&M University. What are some ways you stayed connected, and tapped into that HBCU sauce?
I went to the what's the deal I went to was it on Wednesdays? The out
You
day
talking
or what's
about? I should know this. I know what you're talking about. It's and there's like a bunch of little like shops and stuff like that.
that's the one outside. I went to that. We went to that not every week, but I went to that often.
Yeah.
I actually also the social programs and events, of course, the ton of the events that were there. But as a human again, you already had a connection, already connection. The brothers that big and new and the brothers that were adults who was tight, so I was able to connect and interact that way.
Mm.
And there were great leaders and great professors in the city who worked at Florida State, but also may have attended FAMU or both. And so I was able to do that as well. So it's a beautiful time, a beautiful place to live and to really grow. Especially as a recent college graduate, it was a perfect flow around for me. To not live in college again, but kind of be the same age as a college student and be able to be in graduate school. So I got to live the best of both worlds.
For sure. And so, and just for context purposes, you majored in education, both undergrad and graduate school?
Undergrad, I majored in English, mass communication. I wanted to be a news anchor.
Gotcha.
And so in grad school, I majored in higher education administration with a minor in counseling. And my doctorate was in higher education administration. I'm at the University of Southern California.
Okay. I could see you being a news anchor. I could see you got the look.
I wanted to go, maybe after, maybe I'll be somebody new as an older person.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just be curious. Why didn't it end up going that way? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I think God had a different life for me. Education was really attracted to me, and it was not easy, but it's kind of I felt it was natural for me.
Yeah,
Experience that I had, I kind of getting thrown into educational experiences, and I wasn't thrown into news anchor. Although I
for sure.
tried, and it just didn't connect. But what I love about life is that although I'm not a news anchor, I still get a chance to speak like this and to
Mm,
have a conversation, education about
yeah.
views, all those different things. So it's really great to have that experience.
No, for sure, Dr. Hodges. Yeah, the Lord gives us these gifts and we can choose whether or not to use them. So I'm really glad that you're using your gift. And like you said, sometimes what we want may not look exactly like we initially saw it. So being able to reimagine that and accept it in that way. So I love that. I want to go back to something you talked about. You talked about this connection between this strong connection that Florida A&M has with FSU and right. You talked about it in the personnel from fraternities, and then for those that don't know, right, FSU and FAMU share a joint college of engineering as well. When we think about at least for me and what I'm seeing, when I hear talks about HBCUs and PWIs, it's always this either or, right? You've got to go to one or you've got to go to the other. But here we're discussing an example where, hey, these two entities can get along and build something that could possibly be even greater, right? Can you talk a little bit more about let me see. Can you talk a little bit more about, do you think we should have more of that joint work together? Would that be a good thing for higher education on both
But
sides?
I think collaboration can never hurt. I do think that there's power though in the HBCU space. There's a time when we want a lot of it to get realized.
For
So
sure.
I don't ever want to get the HBCU experience all into into that. I do
Yeah.
think that we need to maintain the integrity, autonomy, and culture and traditions of our HBCUs.
That's right.
I think like always great collaboration on resources. I think that typically state funded large PWIs get far more funding,
Yeah.
have far more resources. So if they want to you guys want to get back and contribute to
For sure.
HBCUs. I think that's a great opportunity. I also think it's great for students in states like Tallahassee or Nashville, Tennessee, where you want Vanderbilt, Tennessee State, or you have these out major forces or Atlanta, or Georgia and AU Center. There's certain states and places that have strong HBCU and PWIs in the same city, and so people do benefit from that. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That's good. Okay. That I won't go on a tangent, but that makes me think of some things. I love that. So let's move forward here, right? And just in your trajectory. So you're in grad school. You eventually, as you say, you go on to earn your PhD. You went to California for this, which I don't know if you knew. Apparently there are talks of an HBCU opening out in California. Did you know that? I think it might be like a satellite campus.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to get some more information on that. Fast forwarding now to your role at Edward Waters University. Was that your first role in an HBCU setting?
No, my first role at HBCU was at Morgan State University when I worked at admission in the 90s. So I worked at Morgan State, I worked at Tennessee State, I worked at Virginia State, and now Edward Waters. So I love my experience here at Edward Waters. I love our president, his leadership. I love the tradition, the culture of our institution. Me, the first with the state of Florida. People even went to camp. People talk about it, but what is truly the first? And so to be able to get back to an environment like this and to help support the mission and the goals of the president and leadership of the board of trustees has been a phenomenal opportunity for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I definitely want to get into some of the great things that you got going on at Edward Waters. Right, for transparency, I haven't visited the campus yet, but I'm really excited to visit this upcoming summer. Yeah, that'll be exciting. So, right, as we look at HBCUs now and sort of in the future, I mean, what are some things about Edward Waters that makes it special? What makes you excited to just continue to wake up every day going to the campus?
Like I said, I love the leadership of my boss, the president. He is an innovative leader. We are the first HBCU in the state of Florida. We're also the first independent institution of higher education. We have record-breaking enrollment for over 3 years now. We have a brand new football field. We have brand new degree programs. We have going from a college to a university. So we are quickly turning heads in terms of the higher education space, even in our community. So it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Dr. Hodges. And so, right, on the rise, right, there's so much growth happening at Edward Waters University. And of course, we understand some of the challenges that HBCUs in general have. You alluded to some of them earlier, the underfunding, under-resourcing. But even still, right, we are able to produce these remarkable outcomes for student achievement and success, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well. When we think about the preservation and elevation of HBCUs, where does your mind go?
Mine goes to seeing my grandchildren and great grandchildren attend HBCU, and knowing that myself, my grandmother, aunt, my sister, cousin, others in my family have definitely paved the way. Even though I was in high school, my grandmother went to my Ohio Central in 1920s. So my first generation, because the definition is that went your parents, but
Yeah,
my other went to HBCU. Which is why my aunt never went to family. So that's what I see. I see us all looking back, you including, starting experience and then having the expectation and the honor of those who come after us, to follow that same way and to make it even stronger.
yeah.
That's really what I see. I know that HBCUs, Greek life, certain things have become commercialized,
Mhm.
but those of us who were through it and attended should understand what it really means. So I think that's the power.
Yes, I love that, Dr. Hodges. So, and so, right, HBCUs as an institution, keeping us on the forefront of innovation, right? You talked about the president at Edward Waters University being innovative and creative in that regard. What are some things that you are hoping to see HBCUs in general grow into? So, for example, I think a lot about, this is just me, but I think a lot about like artificial intelligence. I think a lot about just where the education space is going as it relates to, well, people may not want to get a 4-year degree, but they may want to go through some sort of boot camp right? Which is some sort of accelerated or condensed version of learning. Do you see HBCUs or just colleges in general ever going in some of those directions?
Definitely, I think HBCUs have been the trendsetters for their existence. Being having a footprint in the future leadership for the world, I definitely
Yes.
know HBCUs will be there for sure. We got criminal institutions that do less, that do more with less, that always have.
Yes.
So I do want to see more alumni getting across the board. More support by HBCUs from the government, federal funds, and not just when something goes wrong, but
Yeah.
on regular. We see all these politics and things going on. Having support by HBCUs really putting money towards them, doesn't know the power that they produce,
For sure.
is definitely before seeing to continue and to increase. So yeah. Thank you for that question.
No, absolutely. It's something that's on my mind constantly. How can we just stay in the forefront? And right, so for me, I think I've shared with you, Dr. Hodges, one of my angles is to educate families and children, particularly those of middle school age and younger, about the awesomeness of HBCUs, because I believe that if we can get them on board, as well as their families, right, on board of HBCUs, maybe they attend, maybe they don't, but it keeps it at the forefront from a younger age. And so with that type of long-term attention, yeah, you almost have no choice but to provide the resources and funding to allow HBCUs to stay prevalent and relevant. That's good stuff. As we come to a close here, I feel like we've definitely talked so much just about your unique experiences, some of the things that you are hoping for on the horizon. If you had to give one piece of advice for someone who is trying to decide between an HBCU and some other institution, what are you going to tell them?
I'll say look at history. Look at the power of our HBCUs. There was a time where we weren't allowed to go to other institutions. And you're not just a number of HBCUs. You are part of the family. We work hard. We work the job out the hour. So we provide support to students in a nurturing, developmental, intentional way that other schools just can't do. And the numbers speak for themselves. And so I would definitely encourage all students, especially students of color, to really get into their roots, and really think about, consider supporting, attending, and enhancing our HBCU.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. You've heard it here first. And last quick question. So, right, we've learned that Edward Waters University, you said it was the first independent institution. It was the first HBCU in the state of Florida. Give us another fact. What are some other historical facts? Trying to educate the people.
We have a very strong athletic program as well. We have brand new sports. We have brand new athletic teams on our campus. We have criminal justice, forensic science, psychology, public health, social work, sports management, accounting, biology, administration, communications, and computer information science. And we've become a university, and so that's a brand new thing for us as well.
For sure.
And so we're really proud of our institution. Really proud of Edward Waters University. Proud to work at a place where we work a job and not a job. Every day will be Carolina students here. We have strong alumni connections as well. So the crown jewel of Jack, as the president would say. Those are my words.
I love that. Dr. Hodges, any final words for the people before we sign off today?
Just to do research, to look at institutions, so what they really can bring, looking at what majors are offered, the culture and traditions. I think that's really important. So we have to always make sure that people are comfortable in our choice of education, because that's 4 years of life. So it should definitely be a place where people want to be and people respect. So I wish everyone the best of luck on their choice of an institution. I pray that you choose an HBCU.
Hey, Dr. Hodges, a class act, everyone. Hey, thanks so much for taking time to chat with the audience today. Hey, if you're out there and you're curious, just go take a tour, right? Go take a tour, go to Edward Waters, go visit Dr. Hodges. Just some great stuff. I know I'm planning on doing this. Everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching wherever you are. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.